Kathy, come on up. Greg, come on over. Get you on one side.
It's all right.
Let me say today we're very pleased to announce the appointment of Greg Romberg, who will head up our Office of Regulatory Reform. This particular office, I think, the need for this particular office was certainly signified through the economic summit, which we just recently completed, with the amount of business owners outlining their desire to have a place in the city where they could go that would look at some of the problems associated with permitting, problems associated with Chapter 31 of design, problems associated with someone acting as an ombudsman for small business. It's my belief that this is an office that is necessary institutionally for city government. So we're doing a dual announcement today. First, we're saying that we're very happy that Greg Romberg, who is here with us, and his daughter and child that may make history in the mayor's office if it comes a day early. We're very happy that Greg has accepted this position of Director of the Office of Regulatory Reform, which he will start December 2nd after completing the organization of the State House Conference on Small Business, which he's in charge of. We're also pleased that Councilwoman Kathy Donahue will sponsor an ordinance creating this office in city government. I think it's something that demonstrates that city government will be not only treat citizens as good customers, will also be user-friendly. And we're also pleased that Ron Abo from American Institute of Architects is present, as well as Mary Kelly from the, who serves on the national board for National Federation of Independent Businessmen, and Greg's family. So we're real excited about this because one of the things it does, it comes so much on the heels of the economic summit that we just held downtown. And this gives us the first opportunity to place into action one of the items that came out of the economic summit is who is our ombudsman within the city, who is going to deal with some of those permitting issues, who is going to deal with some of the unnecessary business regulation, like we still have licensure requirements for ice wagons, which we haven't had in Denver for a long time, as well as some others. And one of Greg's responsibilities would be to review those. And so I will ask Councilwoman Donahue to speak, who will be.
Thank you. One of the reasons that I asked Councilwoman or Council President Ramona Martinez to make me the chair of the Public Works Committee is because I wanted to form a relationship with the person who ran this kind of office and help them in any way that I could as a council member to turn around the problems that people encounter when they run into little snags with their city government. And that's what I'm here to do. I've known Mr. Romberg and his family for a very long time. His grandfather lives around the corner from me, and he is an old friend too. Greg, that's all for me.
Thank you. I'm really tremendously excited about this opportunity. As in the last 10 years, I've been working at the state level on these kind of issues, and one of my frustrations has been that as we addressed problems that we could address and then got to the next level that needed to be addressed at a city level, there wasn't an ability to go in and do some of that kind of thing. And so when the mayor promised in his campaign that this was something that the city needed, I concurred wholeheartedly and was excited to see that he was going to do that. And then much as the mayor just said, sitting in last week and watching the Downtown Economic Summit did nothing but reinforce how important and how many problems we're causing in certain areas that we need to go to work on. And the permitting process, I think, is vital and needs to be worked on. People need to understand that as we try to infill in the city and county of Denver and get people to stay here and live here, that we need to have a system that people can be comfortable with. And I'm looking forward to working with the building department and the construction community to do that. On excise and licenses, I know from the information that we have at the state that we have almost as many licenses in Denver for occupational kinds of things as every other city in the state put together. I think we need to take a look and see how many of those are necessary and what can be combined or eliminated. It's just a tremendous opportunity. I can't say enough about working with these two people to my left. I worked for Wellington for 6 years when he was at regulatory agencies, and the beauty of that is that in working for this particular mayor, the only thing that you have to tell him is what's right, and you don't get into a lot of what a lot of what other people think. It's just what's right. And Councilwoman Kathy Donahue has been somebody I've worked with on things for the last 10 years and think the world of. And when I found out she was going to be the main council contact on these kind of issues, that made the job that much more intriguing and interesting. So I'm really excited about it. I think we'll do some good things, and I'm looking forward to working with the people at the city and throughout city government to make these efforts work.
Questions?
It's always used for the purposes intended. The historic preservation piece.
Anderson?
I think, we'll do a complete analysis of all the licenses and go to work on them as we come to them. I think that the licenses probably fit into 3 or 4 categories. Some, like the mayor mentioned, are just out of date and don't belong on the books anymore, and we probably need to ask council to get rid of them. Some of them are issues where you don't need it to be quite as extensive as it is. There's some licenses that are absolutely necessary, and I think we ought to take a look at them and make sure they're being administered as best they can. And then the other category in my mind is those licenses where it's likely that most of the people have more than one of them, and then does it make sense to try to combine them?
What are you going to do? How are you going to approach it? I mean, just generally?
Get a feel for issues where they have some concern. And then I think bottom line becomes, we look at 2 things in setting an initial agenda. The first and most important is where's the biggest payoff for the people who live and pay taxes here.
Act to determine which one of these licenses are really required and make the judgment, is this license needed or is it just to collect revenue? That means in certain cases this office would be going against other city agencies or within the building department. But the skill is to be able to demonstrate to the agencies that in fact we want businesses to move into Denver and to stay in Denver and not leave Denver because we in government had made it too difficult to do business with the city. And that's what I see as one of the major roles of this office. Someone has to sit down and go through all of the licenses, all of the permits to meet with the affected parties. I don't think that this is a new issue. I've heard
that can do that legally, that I think it will help tremendously. I can't envision any council member, unless they're so new they haven't gotten the complaints, but I can't envision council being against this. I've talked to the council members about this probably for several years, and they are interested in it. When something breaks within an administration, we get the complaints, and if it isn't working, we hear about it.
What's the job? You're in the middle of your budget process, and there's a program in it, Denver Opportunity, and
let me just close on the budget item, Brian. That
Have you talked to United recently, United Airlines, and is there anything new on that?
well, we got a free-flowing. No, I can tell you that last month I did lobby the chairman of United. I sent him a box of ribeye steaks from Strings. The last time he was in dinner, we had dinner at Strings, and he enjoyed ribeye, so that I told him that hopefully when he makes his decision on where the United Maintenance Facility would be located, that before he makes his final decision, or while he's thinking about it, take out one of those steaks, have his wife cook the steak, and then think about where's the best location for the location of the maintenance facility.
Do you think that there was some word that this decision is going to come pretty quickly? Have you got any indication of that on United, that it maybe even as early as tomorrow?
We expect you guys have got me in the habit of not mentioning deadlines anymore, so let me make sure I rephrase this. I think we will have a decision on United soon. I'll say very soon.
how about health and hospital?
Longer than soon. After when we get through the budget process, which will be as soon as we can get the budget finalized and submitted to council. Then we'll concentrate on health and hospitals. But there are 3 finalists. I've not made a final decision on health and hospital on those 3 finalists. But again, I think that, just being candid, that the hospital is operating efficiently. There's a great staff there. That the budget also will reflect that we've cut the deficit in treasurer's cash at the hospital by more than $6 million. We've put additional money in operating. And so I think that at least for this year, 92, as well as the ending of 91, that the hospital is going well. Thank you.